This is the G10 Plus from 3i. It's the latest robot vacuum I have here in the studio, and there are a ton of robot vacuum and mop systems on the market. And I've talked about a ton here on the channel. I really like them. I use them every single day. They really do come in handy and kind of change how you clean. But after trying so many of them, the differences between them are getting smaller and smaller. And so I wanted to check out something a little bit different. And so when 3i reached out, wanted to sponsor this video and send over this, it fit the bill perfectly, because this is a robot vacuum that doesn't need a huge base station like you might have seen in some other versions. This is just the vacuum, but it still gives you a ton of features built in this really sleek and small looking package. Now, 3i Technologies, I've talked about them here on the channel. They make one of my favorite robot vacuum and mop systems ever that actually gets the water for the mop from the air in your home. It's pretty sweet, so I'll leave that video linked down below. But they haven't been around for all that long. They're one of the newer players on the block. But when I look at different products on the market, what 3i is doing, I think is pretty impressive. And that's no different for the G10 Plus. Now, when looking at one of these types of products, I think in this day and age, there are three things you want. Of course, this is all about convenience. So it needs to be able to maneuver around your home, map it out, use its smarts to be able to give you a really good clean. And then the actual cleaning of it needs to, perform well. So it needs to have great suction, it needs to be able to mop. And increasingly, honestly, one of the most important things for me especially is that I need to not really have to think about it all that often. And so that means, when you have a base station that can last months without needing to empty, that does come in handy. And so when I looked at the G10 Plus at first, I was thinking, well, maybe this isn't gonna be all that great, because if you just have the vacuum, well, I'm gonna have to empty it every single time. But actually, no, that's actually where the G10 Plus is shining here, because even though it is just the vacuum and doesn't have a base station that you need to have with it, it can actually last for up to 60 days without needing to empty the dustbin at all. So it can vacuum your home and you don't have to think about it for months. And so that's really what piqued my interest, because if it can do all of those things without needing a base station, that's pretty impressive. Now, the way it's able to achieve this 60 days of no emptying needed is by using a patented dust compression technology. And so basically what that means is as it sucks in debris after it's done cleaning, it will actually compress everything it sucked up into a smaller form factor, so that now you still have a large area to continue vacuuming day after day. And so it can last a lot longer. And that means you don't need any base. You don't have the noise from a base when it auto empties into it. You just get a cleaner look, and well, it actually works. But not only that, it's also hygienic as well. Since you have all the dust that's been collected, there can be some dirt and germs in there. And so you want to make sure that it's not growing mildew or growing any bacteria. And this has a UV light built in so that it can, blast all that dirt with that light and hopefully kill anything that may start to grow in that 60-day period before you need to empty it. So it's got all this built in right into the robot itself. That alone is really impressive, and I feel like pretty much every vacuum should have this. Plus, this also means that with this technology, you don't need to buy bags and empty them every few months. This just needs to be emptied and it's ready to be used again. So, clean, effective, and really minimal. Now, that is great, but in order for it to work effectively, well, it needs to have great cleaning ability as well. And well, it does. This has an excellent vacuum system built in, and it also has a mopping system that you can use as well. But the vacuum system is pretty impressive. It has 18,000 pascals of suction, which is a ton. And so that means whatever type of debris you are picking up, so dust, pet food, hair, all of that stuff, it's going to be able to suck it up no problem. And the floating roller brush that it has can adapt to the different type of flooring that you are cleaning on. So if you're on carpet or if you're on hardwood or anything in between, it can detect that and adjust itself to give you an even deeper and better clean. And the suction provided from this is about twice that you typically see on any other vacuum like this. So the cleaning ability is pretty top notch. Now, this also has 100% coverage, so it's using something called the Ultra Reach Extendable Side Brush. So this will actually swing out a brush that can get into those corners and crevices that you normally would miss on its own. And so with this, you're getting 100% of the coverage. You can see it here, how well it works. And that also goes over to the mopping side. So this also has a mop head that is able to extend out as well so that it can get every area that needs cleaning. And that mopping, because there's there's no base station, you will have to manually, fill it up with water every single time you want to use it. But it has a 247 milliliter water tank built in, so it can do that mopping if that's something you're looking for. And it comes with a reusable flat mop head so that, it can get that clean. Now this also works great on carpets, which is where I'm using it a ton up here in the bedrooms where there is carpet, and it can actually detect that carpet. And if you are mopping at the same time, it can raise that mop head. It uses ultrasonic sensors to detect when it gets to carpet. You can also adjust the carpet settings. So if you didn't want it to go on carpet for some reason, you can stop it from doing that. Or if you want it to clean a certain way on the carpet, you can do that as well, all from the app. And speaking of the app, of course, this is where you can set everything up. So however you want the cleaning to go, you can set different schedules. And this is also where you can, adjust the map for your home. And this is where these smarts come in, which is probably the most important thing, because if it can't get around your house, well, it's not really going to be able to clean. So this is using D time of flight LiDAR. It also has a dual 3D structured light and uses an AI camera to navigate and map the world around you. And with all of these sensors, it can create a 3D map of your home so that you know exactly where it's going to clean. And it can also detect over 100 types of objects so that it knows what it's looking at. So if you've got furniture or you've got shoes on the way or anything like that, it can see it, know what it is, and navigate it appropriately. And when it comes to cleaning, it also has the AI dirt scan LED light built in so that it can better detect the dirt around it so that it can get a more effective clean. And because of the smarts, it can detect what type of dirt or debris is in front of it and adjust its vacuum or mopping abilities based on what it sees, just so that it's getting the best clean possible. Now, I think what really seals the deal here is the price. This comes in at $399 if you use the link down in the description, which is incredibly affordable for this type of product. If you go and see the ones that have base stations and have all these extra features, they get expensive very quickly. And not to say that those aren't necessarily worth that price, but if all you need is a really solid vacuum that still gives you the convenience of not having to empty it every single time, well, for this price, you're getting a heck of a deal. And so yeah, check out the link down in the description so you can pick one of these up for yourself or just learn more about it. But for the price, what you're getting here is the level of clean you'd expect from a complete flagship product with every single bell and whistle. And you're actually getting that, you just don't have to pay for it. And well, that really comes in handy. So yeah, check this out. I've been enjoying using this, enjoying the sleek look of it, and it's got a place in my home.